Welcome to the Camden County Chamber of Commerce's Get in Your Business podcast, your go-to source for all things small business in Camden County. I'm your host, Allison Shores, and each week we'll be diving into the heart of our community, bringing you inspiring interviews with local small business owners, insightful discussions on issues that matter, and the latest on events that could impact your business. Plus, don't miss out on our expert tips to help your business grow and thrive. Whether you're a budding entrepreneur or a seasoned business pro, this is the podcast for you. So let's get down to business. What's up, Camden County? Allison Shores, Camden County Chamber of Commerce, and you are catching the second episode of Get in Your Business podcast. And I'm so excited because today I am talking to Braden Spencer from Deep Dive Games. So, Braden, first things first, let's talk about like who you are, how long you've been in Camden County, and kind of the reasons that you started this business and the name. I need to know why it's called Deep Dive Games.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks for having me.
Yes.
So I've been in Camden County since 2016, September 2016. My wife and I moved here because I got stationed on the USS Maryland.
Okay.
I'm still active duty, 158 days left till I go on terminal leave, but currently active
Nobody's counting.
But myself and two of the guys from my boat had talked for a while about opening up a game store. And then finally, once we started getting to a spot where we had a little bit more free time, it was towards the end of our tours on the boat. It was, COVID had hit, so we didn't really have much else going on. We said, hey, let's actually make this thing happen. And so the three of us, pulled our resources and opened up in that small location that we originally had in October of 2020. Mm-hmm. Deep Dive Games comes from we were basically trying to stick to a Navy nautical theme for the name. We had bounced around names all day, Bubblehead Games, and just, one of us threw out Deep Dive, and we were like, oh yeah, that one.
Oh, that's the one.
Yeah. And so we went with Deep Dive Games, but, and then, we found the diver's helmet online, had it shipped out, and it kind of...
That thing is so cool.
Yeah, it stuck as our logo, and, it all just kind of rolls from there. But
Gotcha. Okay, so when you say, games, when I think games, I'm thinking like Scrabble or Monopoly or something like that, but that's not what these games are. So you have some regular games in there, but when we talk Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering, let me tell you how much I know about that. Very little. So I'm going to need you to educate me a little bit about what these games are, because from what I've researched so far, it's interactive storytelling. Am I kind of right on that?
A lot of them, yeah. So D&D is the biggest misconception that we wind up getting is, and it's understandable, everybody wants to know if we have video games. We get phone calls. Yeah. Oh, you guys got PS5s in and stuff like that. But yeah, so it's tabletop RPGs, card games, strategy games is what we mostly deal with.
When you say RPGs? Role-playing games. Okay, yes. Perfect.
So that would be your D&D.
Okay.
D&D is one of our bigger ones. The top one obviously is Magic the Gathering, which has been around for 30 years now.
And it is Magic the Gathering.
Magic, the Gathering.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one is basically there's deck. You build a deck, depending on what format you're using is the number of cards that you use and how you build the deck. But you build a deck with a bunch of creature cards, magic cards, enchantments, and things like that. My deck says I can do, X, Y, Z on my turn. You can do whatever on your turn, and you just try and build this deck to be competitive against a wide number of decks.
Okay.
So that as many people as you play, you want to be able to win as many games as you can, right? Okay. So it's a lot of that game is constructing your deck. A lot of them do it to their personalities. People will kind of pick a theme. Oh, I've got an angels deck. I've got a rat deck.
Okay.
Zombies and things like that. And so you kind of pick a theme you like or a mechanic that you like. And you build a deck around that you try to be, you don't want it to be so narrow that it can only beat one other kind of game, right?
Yeah.
But that's all of the TCGs are kind of like that, trading card games.
Okay, I was about to say you're gonna have to tell me what that is.
That's so Magic, Lorcana, which is the Disney one, Star Wars, which is the big one that releases tomorrow, that is already gaining popularity. There's a Star Wars Unlimited is what it's called. You've got your Pokemon. There's other ones, Digimon, Dragon Ball Z has one, One Piece has one.
There are so many.
Those are all the TCGs, the trading card games. And those are all pretty much the same. The mechanics of the game always vary, but it's I build my deck to try and beat as many other people's decks as I can.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Our board games, which is kind of what, your Monopoly and stuff like that, that's all your Hasbro games. Mm-hmm. And basically, if you can buy it off the shelves at Walmart, I generally won't carry it because I'll never be able to compete with their prices.
Gotcha.
Right? Because they sell a lot of stuff for less than what I pay to get it.
Okay.
We deal with a lot of indie games, crowdsourced games. Mm-hmm. And so you've got your, Wingspan. I've got games that are based off of video games. So Assassin's Creed, Bloodborne, things like that. But these are all, a lot of these games, we have $300 board games that can take you 5
what?
years to beat. Like, yeah. And
That just blew my mind. 5 years.
Yeah, so there's one of them that we have. It's kind of hard to get. A lot of people look for it a lot. It's called Gloomhaven, and that one was a crowdfunded game. And what they say when they're promoting that game is that if you had a party of, I think, 5 people playing that game, which is basically an RPG, a role-playing game. It's like a D&D in a box. But if you had a party of 5 and you played it for an hour a week, it could take you like 3 to 5 years to beat that game.
I don't even know what to say about that.
Yeah, it's
like, you have to be committed.
We have quite a few people who are.
Yes, you would have to. Now, on some of these games, you can actually like paint your like figurines. I don't want to call them figurines. Let's say soldiers or whatever.
Miniatures.
Miniatures. Okay, see, there's a word. You get to paint and like actually be creative on some of those.
Yeah,
I think that's
so
really cool.
That's our tabletop strategy games, which Warhammer, 40K, and Age of Sigmar is the most popular one. D&D actually has its own miniatures that people like to paint as well. Some of them come pre-painted. We have new ones coming out. Bolt Action is a popular one that's World War II. So you can be infantry, you can be in the air, you can be in the Navy, you can, but you build an actual army and fight other people's actual army with like real life units, but you build them and paint them the same way as Warhammer. But yeah, these ones, you basically buy units to an army, just like building your deck in the TCGs. Mm-hmm. You build an army with a certain number of points. So like if I have a unit that's worth X number of points, and we're playing teams where, hey, my team's going to be 1,000 points, your team's going to be 1,000 points. It's a lot of, I weigh their abilities against each other, and, I don't want to have any weak spots. I don't want to have any open flanks and things like that. And so you buy your models, you construct them with like glue and plastic snippers and things like that. Mm-hmm. And then once they're constructed, you prime them and paint them. And everybody comes in, and there's competitions for who paints the best. There's competitions for, obviously who pilots their armies the best. And those games can take days.
So speaking of taking days, like you've been having some events at Deep Dive that you've been doing, and one that really intrigued me was you were doing a lock-in. And I'm like, what? A lock-in? So let's talk about that.
Yeah, so we did our first one towards the end of November, and what we've decided is we're going to do them fairly regularly because it was successful. Like I'll just be, fully open and
transparent
here, yeah. We don't make any money on these lock-ins. My goal for the lock-in is to break even at best. Mm-hmm. And so what we do is if we have a release of 2 of our big products, so like this Friday, we have the Fallout release for Magic, as well as the Star Wars TCG comes out. Okay. So Saturday, we're having a lock-in to celebrate. But throughout that night, we will have a ton of events and prizes and things like that. And where we'll normally have our events on Fridays and Saturdays, these ones are the same kinds of events, but it's basically going to be up to the masses. Hey, what do you guys want to do? Right? And at the end of it, we're going to have prize support. So everybody buys into the event for like $7, $10, depends on what the event is. Yeah. But at the end, the prize that we give out for those events will be much bigger than what it normally is, which is how we wind up losing money on the deal. Yeah. But people come in, they enjoy the experience, they get to all hang out and have fun. And that's what that's what we're all about, is we want people to always have a good time. We want to always have a clean, friendly environment, things like that, so that people just keep coming back.
I just love that you've provided a space for people that like to do this, that whole community can come together and have a place to, be with people with like interests. I think that's what's really cool about your space. Yeah,
the tabletop gaming community in general is one of the like friendliest and most camaraderie-based communities that I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Because I've been, submarines and other things like that. I played video games in school, when you get on video game chat rooms and things like that, where people can be, jokingly, but people are harsh. And here it's not like that. For some reason, I don't know what the difference is, but people come in, and there's a little teasing here and there. But if somebody comes in and goes, hey, I don't know how to play this game,
you've got somebody to teach them.
Like, come over here. We're going to be patient with you. We're going to take it slow. We're going to figure it out, because they just want the community to grow. It's the most self-serving group of people that I've ever seen.
Oh, I love it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, there's something else you have going on that was really neat, and I think it's like the 28th of March. You want to talk about some of the things that are going on there?
Yeah. So what we're calling it is the Deep Dive Community Emporium. Okay. And this was just, I had an idea pop in my head one day. I workshopped it with a couple of my employees.
It sounds so fancy. I love it. Emporium. Mm.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Tyler. He came up with that.
Yeah. Thank you, Tyler.
But yeah, what we're doing with that is I'm going to close down Thursday, the 28th from 1 to 5. I'm going to close down the store essentially. And I'm going to wipe out all of our shelves and stuff that are in the floor. And I'm going to spread out all of my extra tables that I have. And I'm going to rent the table space to anybody in the community. A lot of it's going to be aimed towards gamers. So if you have Magic collections, video games, board games, card games that you want to kind of offload, rather than selling them to me where I offer a percentage of its value so that I can resell it for a profit, this is an opportunity to come in and sell it at full value to other members of the community.
Gotcha.
At the same time, if you make homemade honey, or if I have one guy that's doing woodworking that he's got a CNC machine. One guy's making dice bags and he's bringing those in to sell. Anything that you have that you think that, like a community yard sale kind of thing, flea market kind of thing. That's the way that we're going to be running it for the day. The only thing it's going to cost is the rental of the table. And so my 6-foot tables are going to be $50 for the day. And then I have 4 by 6 foot war game tables. I have 2 of those. Those will be $100 because you can get a lot of stuff on those tables.
Awesome. Speaking of those tables, you made some of those tables.
I did. In my, I guess you could call it free time. I like to just kind of...
I don't even know how you have free time, but okay. But these tables, like, they are impressive.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I try to always be making the place better.
Yeah. Well, you've done an amazing job. It looks so good in there. Yeah. Wow. Awesome. What other events? Now, are you going to continue to do the lock-ins and this emporium? Like, is this something that you're going to continue to do? And how often?
Basically, I'll try anything once and see how it does. The first time we did the lock-in, it was a great, like I said, we don't make any money on them, but the people really liked it. We got great feedback from it. We're kind of play or workshopping it. So we are going to keep doing those as long as they keep being fun and everybody keeps liking them. The emporium thing, if it works out, if people like it and it's enjoyable, we'll do it again.
Because this will be the first one, correct?
This is the first one. Yep.
Awesome. Now, if somebody wanted to get involved, maybe they've never tried Dungeons and Dragons or Magic the Gathering, but this sounds like something they're interested in. What do you recommend that they do so that they can learn it? Is there a better day for them to go maybe learn some of these games?
Well, so we update our schedule pretty regularly. It's on our website, which is deepdivegames.store. And then any of the social medias, we upload on there fairly regularly. But if you ever want to come into the store, my employees are more than happy. If they're not actively stocking shelves and things like that, they are allowed to sit down and teach you how to play these games.
That's amazing. And you have an amazing staff. Like, I love all those guys over there. They're always so kind to us on our military tour. So
yeah, we got very lucky. We've had them. One guy's relatively new, but even the other 2 who have been there for a while, they're all stars. We get good comments on them all the time.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I want you to tell people like where you guys are located, kind of your hours. And then I know you said that you are on Facebook, Instagram, and I guess, I don't know what else, Twitter. Are you on Twitter?
Yeah, we're Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and the website.
You got it all. Okay.
Yeah. We are located in the Kings Bay Village Shopping Plaza, right by WePub.
Yep.
Which is actually helpful for a lock-in.
I was about to say, like, that's like perfect.
Yeah.
You can sit in there and game and then, go and get something to eat. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Braden. I really appreciate you taking the time to kind of explain this to me and help me understand it and tell people what you have going on. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me anytime.